Good morning guys and welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing the next episode in my writing series. If you haven't watched the others in my writing series, I will link that down below and also on the screen, I'm pretty sure on this side. So I guess let's just get right into it. So a lot has happened since the last writing episode. I can't even remember what the last writing episode was about, to be honest, but it's been a long time. I think actually the last writing episode was me trying to finish my novel by the end of the year, and didn't work by the way, but that's okay. So the last one was like a vlog maybe. This is just a sit down one to talk about what's changed and just update on how I've been getting on, you know, writing my novels. So I'm actually not working on the same novel that I was then. I'm working on my thesis, which I announced in one of my videos previously. I don't remember. But I'm working on my thesis, which is a novel that has to do with like religion and religious themes. So it takes into account both of my majors. I'm in English, creative writing, and a religious studies major. So this novel is like right up my alley, you know? I'm having a really good time, you know, getting things done. I spent the first part of the year while I was abroad researching, or at least that's what I was supposed to be doing. And I did get a little bit of research done, but not as much as I wanted to. And I was supposed to finish my outline and meet with my advisor like at the beginning of May. And my outline wasn't done, so I didn't meet with my advisor. But I finished my outline about halfway through the month of May, and now I've started my first draft, and I'm way ahead of the schedule that I made to get it done by, I'm supposed to get the first draft done by August and then meet with my advisor. So I want to actually meet my deadline because I've never really been able to do that before when it's not like for a class. And these are like self-set deadlines, and those deadlines don't always work for me. So I've been really like trying to be on top of my game and be disciplined because I need this deadline to be real for me. It is a real deadline. So yeah, I'm working on that. I actually set, when I didn't get to meet with my advisor at the first like the beginning of May, like I was supposed to, like we had set up last semester or like in the fall, I made a new schedule to still get the draft done by August, and my schedule was to finish the outline by the end of May and then start the first draft on June 1st, get that finished by the end of July, and then spend August before school starts like making sure the first draft is like a good enough first draft, if that makes sense. I don't want to meet with my advisor and be like, oh yeah, this sucks, I know. So I'm spending the bit of August like working on that. But like I already mentioned, I've already started my first draft and it's not June 1st, and I'm actually 15,000 words in, which is really exciting, and it's moving a lot faster than any other story or novel that I've tried to write. So as you may know if you've been keeping up with my writing series, that novel that I've been working on for years and years and years, and I just hit 50,000 words last summer. And I think when I decided that I needed to stop working on that so I could focus on my thesis, I was at around 80,000 words, and it just isn't near done. It isn't near done the way I need it to be. So my goal for that novel was 100,000 words, and I'm only at 80,000. And so only 20,000 more words left, but I just don't have time to work on it right now. I need to work on my thesis. But my thesis is moving a lot faster. I just started the first draft. When did I start it? 2 weeks ago? And I'm already at 15,000 words, and that's just so much faster than the other. And so that's getting me like really motivated, and it's also encouraging me to like continue what I'm doing and to work hard, you know? So I thought that this episode would be great if I talked about what has been helping me write more. I didn't really plan this out, so this might not make any sense, but this is what has been helping me through the process of writing more and like getting things done on my novel while I'm like working on it, you know? One thing that really helped me was to make a plan. So I really like being on top of things, but like if I just say, oh, this needs to be done by August, I'm like, oh, it's only like May, so I don't need to work on that yet. but that's not really the case because this is a big project, so I needed to make a plan to reach my goal to finish by August. So I literally set up a calendar, which I will put on the screen right now. I literally set up a calendar and put on specific days what I needed to reach by those days, you know? So like, as you can see, I needed to finish my bullet point outline, as I called it, by May 31st and then start my first draft on June 1st. Seeing those deadlines, I knew that I needed to get to those points, but I also worked really hard to get to them before I needed to, because I like being ahead of the game. So I was trying to reach my goals before the deadline, if that makes sense. And that really worked for me, and that helped motivate me to write more. Another thing that really helped me that I think slowed me down on my last novel, that still isn't done, but something that really slowed me down was I didn't have an outline, and oftentimes I had to stop and outline the next section, which took a lot of time and didn't add to my word count very much. It is nice, it's nice now having a full outline. I know where things are going before I sit down and write, you know what I mean? And outlines don't work for everyone, and I was sure that I was a person who didn't really need a detailed outline, but the outline that I made for this novel, because I was supposed to present it to my advisor, was much more detailed than what I usually do, and it made writing a lot easier. However, I noticed that there are some points in my outline that are taking a little bit longer to flesh out than other points, because I guess I just wasn't taking into account what would happen in those sections of the novel, if that makes sense. So actually, yesterday I made a lot of progress while I was at work, and I realized that I was working on the same point the whole time, and I wrote over 2,000 words. And some of the points that I had made previously took only like a couple hundred words. A little bit different, so I went back and I worked a little bit on that section and things that I wanted to happen, but it didn't take as long because it was just a small part, not like a whole big section of the novel, if that makes sense. I don't really know if that made sense at all. But having a really detailed outline has really helped me be able to write more. Taking time out of my day, setting aside a specific time to write has been really, really helpful. So my time now is when I'm at work. When I'm at work, I usually am doing not very much because summer is a slow season where I work. So I take my computer and that's what I work on while I'm at work. I work on my novel. And yesterday I was at work for 8 hours and I wrote 2,000 words. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but there are some days that I'm at work for 8 hours and I only write 100 words. So it really, like, having that time set aside where I know that's what I'm working on is just really helpful and getting me in the mood. I've also been reading a lot of writing advice lately. I follow a lot of advice to writers type of accounts on Twitter, and I will put a couple of them on the screen. And they're really helpful to me, and they also make me laugh a little bit and make me feel like I'm not the odd one out, like I'm not the only one that struggles writing sometimes, even though I really enjoy it. Yeah, it's just really helpful for me to see other writers going through the same things that I'm going through. Another thing that helped me be able to write a little bit faster is having my outline on the same page as what I'm writing. So I'll kind of show you. I use Evernote when I write, so I use the Evernote features, but I'm sure you could figure out how to do this in another program, Word or Google Docs or whatever you use. But I put like in a box type of thing my outline and then my like writing around it. And so usually I have like all the writing that I have so far and then a box outline and then a little scene that I've already written like down here for the outline and then another box that has more of the outline and so on and so forth, so that I can see exactly where I'm going literally as I'm writing and I don't have to move my eyes very far because it's like right there. And that really helped me, I noticed, with my last novel, but with this one it's really, really helpful because I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's supposed to happen next. That's what is gonna happen in a few scenes or whatever. Another thing that's been helpful for me is finding like books and TV shows and just like things in my life that don't necessarily pertain to writing my novel that really inspire me for that particular novel. So, for example, for this novel that I'm working on, the show on Netflix, Lucifer, season 4 just came out recently. I'm not there yet, but the show Lucifer really inspired me to like write this novel. So whenever I'm feeling uninspired, I watch an episode of Lucifer and I get re-inspired. Finding something that really inspires me, so something with a similar subject matter, with a similar vibe to what you're going for, can help be an inspiration to like what you're writing. I think those are all of my tips. Those are all the things that have helped me write so far for this draft of this novel, and I really, well, it has to be either way because this is my thesis. But I think that this novel will be my first one that I ever complete, and I'm going to try to get it published. And of course, I'm going to document the whole process here on my writing series. So if it's possible to follow a playlist, which I believe it is, but I'm not entirely certain, just like subscribe to this playlist, or you can just go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I really don't mind. But anyway, I think that's all that I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe so you can join my family. Hit the little bell to get notified whenever I post a video so you won't miss it. And that's it. So have a great morning, and if I don't see you later, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.